What's happening, Video Land? I am doing a very impromptu video this Saturday. It is in the middle of the day. I don't know. It's maybe like 3:39 on a Saturday afternoon. I know quite a few of you all are still working. For those of you all that are off, hey, catch me if you can, or just wait till you get home. I know you all scroll through Facebook and you kind of go over what you missed during the day. I know some of y'all be fiending by the time y'all get off work. Like, Lord, I ain't been able to be on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram and all this stuff by the end of the day. But I gotta say something. And this is something that is really dear to my heart. And I had a conversation. I was going to wait till later when I know all of you all are pretty much home. But I really need to say this now. I had a conversation with someone yesterday. And it was more of a texting back and forth type conversation. And this was a person that I have actually not formally coached, but she's been in my classes and she's really supported just about everything that I've done, even though she hasn't done my formal coaching program. And she's been really struggling with ownership. She in her heart, this is her dream. She wanted to own. She wanted to do this, do that. And I get it. And I'm saying this to actually all entrepreneurs. I'm saying it to all of you all, not just her. I believe, and I know from experience as well as from as many people as I've coached, and I actually went through a formal coaching program that taught me kind of the psychology of people. But I know when we feel like our dream is dying or our dream is dead, it can be a very depressing moment. It can be a moment where we feel like failures, where we feel like everything, we didn't put our money into it. Trust me, I would be a gazillionaire right now, if that's even a amount of zeros, if I could get back every amount of money or every dollar that I've squandered from making bad decisions. But this is what I told her. I said, she told me she was going to downsize. She had listened to one of my Facebook Lives and it was talking about making good decisions is also not just about getting larger, but sometimes even getting smaller. I mean, we are now looking at a world where Amazon has monopolized like everything, y'all. And I actually feel bad sometimes when I hear people talking about they've lost their business to Amazon, because I'm one of those that order everything off Amazon. We didn't order mattresses. We got furniture off it. I mean, we order everything. Me and my husband, everything. So we have this what's called market disruption, or just things that are causing our businesses to either be stale or decline, or you just didn't know what you was doing when you started. So she has admitted to being one of those people that, we jump out there on talent. We think as long as I do hair, as long as I got enough clients, as long as this, that, and the other, I'm good. But you learn very quickly. I don't care. Just because you're a good cook does not mean you can run a successful restaurant. Just because you're a great baker, you make the best pies and cakes and this, you go open a bakery, there's some things you need to know or you're going to fail. Just because I say you're great at, keeping your body intact and in shape, and you understand, the dynamics of the body and how muscles and cells regenerate, the stuff that like personal trainers have to know. It still doesn't mean that if you go open a gym that you're going to be successful. I can go on and on with this. Talent alone does not make you successful. So she was kind of saying regretfully to me that she's put a white flag up. She's like, Nikki, I'm tired. I really let me see if I could actually even find what she said to me. She said, Nikki, I'm just tired. I don't want to do it anymore. I'm going to see if I can find, so I can give you exactly what she said to me. She said, I just don't want to manage people anymore. I'm just tired. I just don't want to do it. I don't think I have Messenger on this phone. Let me see. I have another phone, y'all. So let me see if I have it on this phone. I want to read to you what I said to her. And I think this is important. After I got off the phone with her, I have no idea, guys, where it is. I don't have Messenger on these other phones. I just have Messenger actually on one phone. But in short, what I basically said to her was, you're not a failure. To decide that you're going to shut your business down, and she has a pretty sizable salon, shut your salon down. I'm assuming she's probably going to go into a suite and work. Her words were she just doesn't really want to manage other people right now. She's tired. She said, I'm tired of figuring it out for other people. And God, I wish I may have to find my iPad, guys, because I want to quote what she said and what I told her. Let me see if I can find it this way. What I basically told her, I said, I want you to first not feel like a failure. I want you to be clear about that. You are not a failure. I said, what you've done is you've come to a place in your life where you realize that you really were probably ill prepared for what you did in the first place. So I gave her this analogy. I said, imagine that you're having to, I actually gave her two analogies. I said, the first one was, the thing that people don't realize is that when you're trying to build something, a lot of us have personal dreams that we want to build. We want to, I'll use my industry. We want to be platform artists. We want to be, I don't know, we want to have our own product line. We want to have things that don't necessarily want to do celebrity hair, all these other things that don't necessarily have anything to do with our business. And what happens is you actually had these dreams inside of you, and the salon was just part of the dream. But now here you are, you haven't really built your house yet. You haven't built your own house. And it's very difficult while you're trying to build your own house to imagine trying to literally, not figuratively, but literally build a house. And you got all the people you love and they coming over every day. They're not coming over to work. They just coming over there bothering you while you try to build your own house. You can't entertain them and build this house. It becomes very overwhelming because your attention span starts to be split into this, that, and the other. And the analogy or the answer that I gave her, this was one analogy. I said, I want you to focus on building your own house first before you invite people over. Build your own house. Seek out how you want to do. I know the things she wants to do because I've talked to her for years, and she wants to be a platform artist, and she wants to be a color specialist and maybe work for a color team. And she wants to, it was a couple other things that she said she wants to do, but there are things that are more of her personal journey, her personal profession or professional journey for just her, not necessarily for the business. And so I told her, do that. Let me tell you what will be the beautiful thing about you doing that. You'll be liberated because you won't have all these responsibilities that are going to literally take away from your time, from your energy, from your focus, from your money, being able to do all that. So do that. I applauded her. She was kind of down in the dumps, and I said, no. Sometimes downsizing, which is what I was mentioning when I said Amazon, a lot of these companies that we don't see anymore, they're shut down stores. They're not going out of business. They're being smart. They realize there are things that have happened in this market that are taking away from them, it making sense to them for them to have these brick and mortar stores that are costing them unimaginable amounts of money and employees and this and that and the other. So they're taking the smart approach. They're like, we're going to downsize and maybe we're just going to go online, or maybe we're just going to close some stores, maybe not all stores. That is called smart business, guys. That's not being a failure. That's called being smart and not waiting until you don't have a choice before you shift what it is that you need to do. I also gave her this analogy. I said, look, I think she does have children. I said, it's basically like you open this business at the time when it would have been equivalent to being a 15-year-old now being pregnant, about to have a baby. You ain't figured yourself out. You don't know what they say, your butt from a hole in the wall. You don't know who you are. You don't even know what you think you want at 15 gonna change at 25, and then gonna be something else at 35. And so while you're trying to figure you out, and that's what I told her was another metaphor I used for her opening the salon prematurely, you're trying to figure you out, and at the same time, you're trying to raise this child. That's why a lot of people that had children early, they either have to give up, if they want to be good parents, they either have to give up their dreams or defer them, put them on hold, because basically you got to make a choice. Am I going to do this? Or the ones that said, I ain't giving up nothing, what ends up happening is this child has to go through all the growing pains, all the drama that they now bring with raising this child. And I have seen this really played out with people that had children when they were young, and then they turned around and had another child when they were older. It's like two different people. They're not even the same parent because their life is in a different space. They've been there, done that, got 2 t-shirts. They good. Now they can dedicate their time, their energy, their money. As we say, they didn't got it out their system, whatever you want to call it. And I told her what has happened is you didn't get it out your system. You didn't get it out your system. You birthed a baby. A business is like raising a baby, like for real. The difference with a business as opposed to a baby, that is, you have to sometimes constantly be maturing it, or it'll revert back to fetal stage, as opposed to a person prayerfully. If you raise them right and you train them, they can go on and make their own decisions and do their own thing. But a business has to constantly be fueled or it will die and go back to being a baby all over again. And so I explained that to her, and I told her, I said, look, because she was, because I know her, and even though we were texting back and forth through Messenger, I know how she felt about having to make this decision. And I applauded her. I told her, no, that's good. That's good. You're doing what's smart. You can always open another business. She's only maybe in her mid-30s, early 30s. I said, if you decide you want to do this again, you can always go back and reopen. But now you'll know what you don't know. You'll know what you need to do. You'll know what to prepare yourself for. I told her, I said, the thing that happens in business, and I don't care what industry you all are in. I know I say salon professionals because that's the industry I'm most familiar with, but I actually deal with a lot of different industries now. You have to know that you either aren't or aren't prepared for this journey. Please hear me when I say this. Do not deceive yourself to believing that the talent that you possess is going to sustain your business. It's going to make sure everybody get paid. It's going to make sure all the taxes get paid and all the other issues that come with marketing and branding a business and getting people to return visits. And trust me, your talent alone is not going to sustain that. There are many business principles that you are going to have to learn either before you do it or while you do it, which is a real hard lesson that you are going to have to understand. Be able to run this business. It is absolutely necessary. So this becomes something that you just must do. You must do, guys. So I just want to put that out there because I want you to rewrite. Don't be afraid to rewrite your own story. Don't be afraid. I have rewritten my story like 3-4 times, and people can tell you that know me, Nikki Smith will shut down something in a minute. If I think it's unnecessary, it's costing me too much money, it ain't working, I'll go a couple rounds now before I give it up because I don't believe in just giving stuff up. But I'm telling you, hi, honey, that's my husband. He actually is calling me while I'm on this live. Hi, honey, I'm at home. So if you're calling me to see where I am, I'm at home. I just can't answer the phone right now. But I want to tell you all, rewrite your story. Rewrite your story. I have had more pitfalls in life, in business, personally, professionally, where I had to make the decision, okay, I need to get rid of that. And let me tell y'all something. Don't you let what people may think of you ever detour you from making a decision that makes your life better and takes the stress off of you. It's like a card game. You know when to hold and you know when to fold. Do not find yourself staying trapped in something and you got a choice and you can shift. You can move, because what will happen is if you stay there too long, you're going to allow yourself to get in a place now where you won't have a choice. And it's nothing like being in a position where now all your options are gone because you let it fester to. It's like cancer. If you let cancer, y'all see this right here? This was cancer. That line that you see on my neck. I'm not a person to run to the doctor. I got to be really, really sick feeling sick or something, a lump, or it's got to be something. I don't like going to the doctor all the time. But when this was done was in 2009. And I went to a restaurant that morning. It was freezing cold outside about this time in Chicago. And I had a golf ball sized lump right here, just out the blue. Had on a turtleneck. And now I don't run to the doctor, but I knew that wasn't right. So I said, oh, well, what's, and I mean, it was hard as a brick. Like right here, I said, oh, no, I got to call and see what this is, right? So my doctor is typically ridiculously busy. But when I told them what it was, you know, they'll let you see their PAC, or they'll slide you in when you be talking about lumps and stuff like that. So I went in there, and praise God for doctors that are proactive. I love my doctor still to this day. His exact words was, I think that's in your thyroid duct. It may be something, maybe nothing, but it ain't supposed to be there. So he said, you know what, I'm going to send you to the pathologist today. And this was another place that you can't never get in, but he made sure I got in that day. It was like 12 o'clock. He said, you're going to go in today and you're going to get a biopsy. So they did that. So the pathology department told me to, you know, call me back or call him back to give him the results to give to me maybe in a day or two. Well, they called me directly, like 3-4 hours later. It's like 4 o'clock. And I'm like, is this them? I thought they weren't going to call me. So I'm just wondering what's so urgent. And they told me what they saw was that I had Hürthle cells. They said, you have Hürthle cells in this tumor and we need to get it out because we believe it's cancer. And so immediately I'm like, and that means exactly what? So anyway, it was a whole process of things that I had to go through after that. But I end up having, and I'm going to say this a long word, y'all, but I end up having what's called Hürthle cell follicular neoplasm carcinoma. That's what I had, guys, okay? So thank God we got the tumors out. It was actually one here, one there. They said I would never talk again. Yeah, well, to God be the glory. I'm still talking. I never bothered. I said, yeah, right, whatever. But I'm here. And my point is, had I not been proactive, and I'm saying this to you to help you understand about being in that place where you know you need to make a shift, even if it's a major shift, even if it means quitting something, giving up something, leaving something, I don't care what it is. You have to make that shift no matter what. I don't care what your mama think, what your daddy think, there are times when you have to do that, and I'm telling you, it ain't about what nobody thinks. One thing about I've learned about this Christian walk that I've been in. I still remember when Jesus went up on the mountain, he had to break away from the disciples, and he had to go up there and think. My husband and I were talking about this the other day. Jim Quick, who he listens to now, I've been listening to Jim Quick, who talks about how you got to, kind of go somewhere sometimes. And it doesn't always mean go out of the state or out of the country, although that's good too. But when you're trying to grow and build and be successful and stay successful, you got to give yourself some time to process and think and not be moving. And I'm a busybody. So that was a hard lesson for me to learn. Not be moving all the time and sit down. But in those times, you may have to make decisions that other people don't understand, don't agree, makes no sense to them. It doesn't matter. You're going to have to make these decisions alone. You're going to have, now I'm not saying if you got families and wives and husbands, you don't bring them into it eventually, but I'm saying that you may sometimes have to just say, I'm done. Stick a fork in me. I'm done with this. I'm not doing that no more. I'm not going over there no more. I'm not keeping this business that ain't doing nothing but making me broke. I'm not doing it. And I want you to even come to this place. If you find, like the person I started off talking about this live with said to me that she just was tired of managing people. I told her this. I said, let me tell you something. I now am at the stage in life where I've had to give up to gain. And now managing people is what I absolutely love. It is the reason I launched coaching groups. It's the reason, but managing people comes with giving a source of energy sometimes that you don't even know you have. You like, you think you don't even have the energy. And I told her, I said, don't get me wrong. People, no matter how much you love it, they can deplete you, literally deplete you. But I was asked to coach, to mentor, to do all of that probably 20 years ago. And I knew I wasn't ready. I knew there was no way I could have done that. I'm too busy trying to do my own thing, trying to do this. I knew at that time to take on now the onus of telling somebody else how to navigate through their life. That was not something I had the mental energy or even the know-how to do. I told her, I said, when I made the decision, when God called me, because it was a calling that I couldn't run from. I remember the first thing I told God when he said, this is what I've called you to do, and I need you to do this. I said, okay, God, because I couldn't get away from it. I said, okay, God, I tell you what. If it's time, if I have what it takes to do this, I need you to do two things for me. I need you to free up my time and my money. And I had to tell y'all that on another Facebook Live or YouTube Live, Instagram Live. This video is everywhere. When I say God did that thing in 2 weeks, it was unbelievable what happened in 2 weeks. So we'll catch that later. But God, so I even told her this. I said, when you really know it's time for you to do something, I say this to everybody listening to me. If you know it's time for you to shift, you like, God, this ain't working and I'm tired and I don't want to do this no more. Not like this. I want you to really take some time. As Gregory McKeown says in his book, Essentialism, which you all need to read it. It's in my top 10 favorites. He says you have to create space in your life to grow. That means you got to go sit down somewhere. You got to pray, meditate, whatever y'all want to call it. You got to sit down and say, look, I need to make a move. I need to do something. And I'm one of these because my faith is so stupid. Like, I got stupid faith. And I say, God, look, I need you to give me an unmistakable sign. Something that I can't chalk up as I did it, they did it, we did it. Give me a sign that I need to do this different. Give me a sign. And when I say, when you start walking in that, God will start showing you some stuff. I told my mother something the other day. I said, look, Mom, I got this spot. And I told her the spot I was in. I said, I'm paying for a spot. I ain't never there. And you know the way I think about business, this don't make no sense. I can't do this. I'm not doing it. It makes no financial sense. Soon as I got back from Hong Kong last year, this is the kind of stuff I do with God before I make shifts. Got back from Hong Kong last year. Soon as I got down, turned my phone on. I said, God, what you want me to do with it? You want me to turn it back into a salon? Because it was just my office. You want something? I got to do something with it because what I'm doing makes it. I'm never there, y'all. Never. Nice spot. I'm paying for it. I'm just paying for it. Girl called me. Girl used to work for me. Wonderful employee. One of the best I ever had. Short version is her building was shutting down. She got ridiculous amounts of clients. She needed somewhere to go. I had asked God, do you want me to turn it back to a salon? What do you want? Okay. So now, okay, fine. I said, okay, God, I get it. This happened. I get it. You want me to turn it back into a salon. You asked that for me. So I did it. Whatever I need to do, electrical, plumbing, got some stations. We set it up. The whole nine, she's done. So I'm still like, okay, God, now, and I told her, I said, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this. You know, I prayed and God kind of directed me, okay, turn this back into a salon. Because I'm at a place now where I can manage people. Because I've gotten that out my system. I'm still building me. You never stop building yourself, but I now have enough to share. I'm more mature now. I understand things differently. So I can literally split my attention between what I'm doing and building other people. And actually, it's become more of a joy for me to build them because I've already done a lot of stuff. So here we are today. I told my mother the other day, I said, look, Mom, I said, I am not sure. Even with this girl, I already told her that the girl, I love her. If I could manufacture 10 of her, I would open a whole nother shop and have 10 just like her. I said, but I'm at the point where it's not making financial sense to me. I don't see it making money sense. And the only way this is going to make money sense to me, and this is what I told her and I told God, y'all, I said, look, God, if you want me to keep this spot past July, when I can get off this boat, because I'm done. I told the girl, look, if something don't happen, I'm done. I said that I need you to send me somebody. I ain't looking for nobody. I don't feel like doing that right now. I'm not looking for nobody. I need you to send me someone that is going to fit the culture, be exactly what I need, and then I'll keep it. I said that 4 days ago. I promise you all, I met with somebody yesterday. This is a girl I've been coaching for almost 2 years, and she's beyond wonderful. She was just telling me she has a huge trichology business now, and she was like, Nikki, where I'm at, it ain't gonna work. It's too small. I need to go somewhere else. She said, you got some room over there? That's exactly what she told me yesterday morning. I said, well, matter of fact, I do. I said, okay, God, because I told you I wasn't looking for him. I ain't looking for nobody. I said, because I ain't even sure if this is what I want to do. So I'm saying that to say that I'm allowing God now to kind of direct me because I'm making a shift. And I'm like, okay, God, I'm going to either get rid of it or you going to send somebody that ain't crazy. And this is what we're going to do. So this is what I just want you all to understand. It is perfectly fine to rewrite your story. Don't look at it as being a failure. Don't look at it as if I cowered out or whatever it is that you call when you have to make major life-changing decisions. I don't call it starting over. I call it getting better. Let me tell you something. I find myself now in groups now with a lot of like people with real money, like investors and developers. And let me tell you something I learned from them jokers, especially when it comes to money. Those jokers don't care about nothing. They will bail if a project is costing them too much money and it ain't making sense. They will shut it down in a minute. How many of us have seen half-developed property that somebody walked away from, like something went bad and they said it ain't gonna work? They are not gonna keep letting their money be taken. They're not gonna keep making a bigger hole than what they already. They're not gonna do it. They'll tell you in a minute. Write it off as a loss. Let it go. I hear that every time I'm in these groups, whether it's virtual or in person. Let it go. Just let it go. They don't believe in that. They don't believe in spending a bunch of unnecessary time on something that has proven that it ain't working no more. Some things run their course and it's time to let them go. So I just want to encourage everybody listening to this to understand that don't feel like a failure. That's the moral to this whole talk. Don't feel like a failure when you got to downsize, you got to get rid of something, you got a salon, you're like, I don't want to deal with it, I'm going to go into sweet work for a little while, just me, let me get me together, maybe I'll open back up, maybe I don't. Whatever. Do what you need to do to get yourself in position so you can grow. Are y'all with me? So that's my impromptu Saturday afternoon live. It was really on my heart because she was really struggling with this. I wish I could have, it's on this phone that we're actually looking at. But I'm getting ready to go, y'all. My husband just walked in the door and we are going to see A Raisin in the Sun. That's why I'm all dressed up, y'all. I just went in and put my clothes on, just sat here. So we're going to see A Raisin in the Sun. I love the book, so we're going to go see the play. And that's right. I'm looking at some of these comments on here. That's right. No matter what. If it's time to let it go, as T.D. Jakes said, I'm looking at, who is this? Anna Hawthorne Harris. That's right. T.D. Jakes made a book about repositioning yourself. Let's call it that. Let's not call it starting over. Let's call it, if somebody asks you why you shut your business down or why you did this, why you did that, tell them I needed to reposition myself. That's good. I forgot I read that book years ago. You need to reposition yourself. That's what you got to do. It ain't nobody got to like it. They ain't got to understand it. And you don't have to explain it. So when they get to asking you, don't find yourself constantly trying to explain, especially to people that ain't going to get it. Whatever. You be like, this is just what I had to do, and that's just the end of that. You don't owe certain people that conversation, so don't feel like you do. All right? So peace out. Y'all have a wonderful Saturday. I'm going to get on off this live now, and I might see y'all in the morning. Let's see what happens, all right? So this Knowledge by Nikki with 1K. Go on my website, knowledgebynikki.com. I actually had some things uploaded that I'm going to be doing, so just keep going on regularly. You're going to see all kind of good stuff. So peace out. Share this video. I believe a lot of people are in this position where they know they need to make a move, but they're scared for whatever reason, whether it's people, whether they feel like a failure. So share this with everyone that you know, because I want them to just be all right with my husband and family. Tell you, Nikki will flip the script in a minute. I will. I'll change my mind. That's the story of my life. I ain't doing that no more. Now, I didn't thought it through. Why? I don't always explain it, but I'll change in a minute. No, I ain't doing that, because that was going to cost me too much money. And I'm not saying don't, like I said, don't ride with stuff. And no, because I'm not a person that walks away from stuff easily, but I know when to let it go when it starts becoming more of a takeaway than giving to what I'm trying to do. So, later, Gators. I'll see you on the next one.